The vast emptiness of space lit up with an eerie purple glow as thousands of alien vessels materialized near Pluto's orbit. Their massive hulls gleamed under the distant sunlight, stretching for kilometers in every direction. The lead ship alone dwarfed Earth's largest space stations, its hull adorned with markings that seemed to shift and change when viewed directly. In the heart of Earth Defense Command's underground facility in Mount Fuji, Admiral Park stood motionless before the massive holographic display. His weathered face, marked by decades of service, revealed no emotion as he watched the invasion force arrange itself into an attack formation. Around him, hundreds of analysts and military personnel worked at their stations, their movements precise and practiced despite the unprecedented situation. Lieutenant Kim's fingers flew across her haptic interface, her young face illuminated by the soft blue glow of multiple screens. She had graduated top of her class at the Space Defense Academy, but nothing in her training had prepared her for this moment. "Admiral, I'm detecting energy signatures unlike anything in our database. Their smallest scout ship carries enough power to level a continent." The command center's ambient noise dropped to a whisper as the first alien transmission reached Earth. The message came simultaneously in every known human language, broadcasted on all frequencies. The alien voice was deep and metallic, carrying an undertone of absolute authority that made several junior officers flinch. "People of Earth, we are the Stellar Dominion. Your primitive civilization has been chosen to join our empire. Resistance is not advised. We have conquered galaxies and extinguished stars. Submit to our rule or face annihilation. You have one Earth rotation to decide." Admiral Park's eyes met General Lee's across the room. The two veterans had served together for 30 years, surviving countless crises that the public never knew about. General Lee's slight nod confirmed what Park was thinking. Everything was proceeding according to plan. "Status of Defense Grid Alpha." Park's voice was calm, almost casual. A young technician named Officer Ryu responded immediately. "All systems nominal, sir. Quantum camouflage holding at 100% efficiency. The aliens are seeing exactly what we want them to see." Few knew the truth about Earth's technological capabilities. While the public saw occasional demonstrations of spaceflight and defense systems, humanity's real advances had been kept secret for decades. Hidden beneath the facade of a relatively primitive spacefaring civilization lay technology that would make the aliens' weapons look like children's toys. "Lieutenant Kim, begin Protocol Sunrise," Park ordered, watching as more alien ships continued to appear. "Let's show our visitors exactly what they expect to see." Kim's fingers danced across her console again, activating a carefully crafted deception decades in the making. Across Earth, apparently primitive defense systems began powering up. Outdated missile silos opened their rusty doors, and spacecraft that looked barely capable of reaching orbit began launching from various spaceports. On the main screen, the alien fleet had finished its deployment. Their formation was impressive, a perfect sphere of destruction centered on Earth's solar system. Their ships moved with precision that spoke of countless successful invasions, each vessel taking its place in what they clearly believed would be another easy conquest. "Sir," Lieutenant Kim called out, her voice tight with controlled excitement, "we're detecting internal communications from their fleet. Their encryption is interesting." Admiral Park allowed himself a small smile. "Let me guess, they're already discussing how to divide Earth's resources." "Yes, sir. They're particularly interested in our water supplies and seem to think our technology level is comparable to early spaceflight. They're not even scanning for quantum signatures." General Lee walked over to Park's station, his cybernetic leg making a soft whirring sound with each step. "Should we show them their mistake now, old friend?" Park shook his head, watching as more alien ships appeared. "No, let them come closer. Let them think they found another easy target. When they cross the Mars defense line, then we'll educate them about humanity's true capabilities." Throughout the command center, seasoned officers continued their work with barely contained excitement. Humanity had waited centuries for this moment. First contact with a hostile alien species. While the public had dreamed of peaceful encounters, the military had prepared for war. Now these invaders would learn why Earth had remained undiscovered for so long, and why the dark space around their solar system was eerily empty of intelligent life. Send the official response, Park ordered, straightening his uniform. Keep it appropriately frightened and diplomatic. Make them think we're struggling to understand their technology. As Earth's apparently panicked response was transmitted to the alien fleet, Admiral Park walked to the reinforced window overlooking the underground hangar. Below, rows of seemingly primitive human spacecraft sat ready for launch. Their rusty exteriors and bulky designs masked quantum cores capable of rewriting local physics. Behind him, the alien fleet continued their approach, completely unaware that they weren't the hunters in this encounter. They were the prey. And so it begins, Park muttered to himself, watching humanity's carefully crafted deception unfold. The next few hours would change the galaxy forever, and he had a front-row seat to the show. The United Earth Council chamber was silent as Ambassador Song's footsteps echoed across the polished marble floor. The vast, circular room, buried 2 kilometers beneath the Himalayas, held representatives from every nation on Earth. Their faces were illuminated by the soft glow of holographic displays showing the approaching alien fleet. Song's traditional black suit seemed to absorb the light as he took his position at the center podium. His gray hair and lined face spoke of decades of diplomatic service, but today would be unlike any negotiation in human history. Behind him, a massive screen displayed real-time footage of the alien armada, their ships now passing Neptune's orbit. Honored representatives, Song began, his voice carrying naturally through the chamber's perfect acoustics. The stellar dominion has conquered 47 civilizations across 12 galaxies. They believe Earth will be their 48th victory. They are gravely mistaken. The alien commander's hologram materialized next to Song, towering 3 meters tall. Its form shifted between solid and transparent, its 4 arms moving in complex patterns as it spoke. The being's skin had a metallic sheen, and its eyes glowed with an unnatural purple light. Your species' bravado is amusing. The alien's voice boomed through the chamber. Perhaps a demonstration of our power will help you understand your situation. The commander raised 2 of its arms, and the chamber's displays changed. The council members watched in apparent horror as recordings played from previous conquests. A beautiful crystalline city shattered under energy beams that defied physics. A species of gentle floating creatures tried to flee as their atmosphere was stripped away. Planet after planet fell, each defeat more devastating than the last. A representative from Africa stood up. These recordings, they're meant to terrorize us into submission. No, the alien commander's voice carried a note of smug satisfaction. They are meant to educate you about the futility of resistance. Every civilization you saw had technology far beyond what we've detected on Earth. They all fell within days. Ambassador Song remained perfectly still as the images of destruction played around him. His father had been one of the engineers who helped develop Earth's quantum defense grid. His mother had commanded the first successful test of the gravity manipulation weapons. He knew exactly what humanity was capable of. "We have reviewed your terms of surrender," Song said calmly. "This is Earth's response. Turn back. This is your only warning." The alien commander's laughter filled the chamber, its holographic form rippling with amusement. "You dare threaten the stellar dominion. Your most advanced weapons are primitive projectiles and chemical explosives. Your ships can barely reach your own moon." Behind the closed doors of her command center, Defense Director Han smiled as she watched the exchange. Her fingers moved across a quantum-locked console, activating defense systems that had been hidden throughout the solar system for generations. Thousands of platforms, invisible to conventional detection methods, powered up in perfect synchronization. "Your arrogance blinds you," Song continued, his voice never wavering. "Humanity is offering you a chance to avoid annihilation. We suggest you take it." The alien commander's hologram leaned down, its face meters from Song's. Perhaps we should demonstrate our power more directly. Observe. One of the alien ships, larger than anything humanity had supposedly built, fired a beam of energy at Mars. The blast carved a canyon into the red planet's surface, visible from Earth's telescopes. The council chamber erupted in apparently panicked shouts and accusations. Representatives argued about surrender terms and evacuation plans. The alien commander watched with obvious satisfaction, not noticing the slight smile on Song's face. In her command center, Director Han watched as the quantum grid recorded every detail of the alien weapon. The defense computers had already analyzed the attack and developed countermeasures. She sent a secure message to Ambassador Song's neural implant. Grid at 100%. Weapons analyzed. We can neutralize their entire fleet. Song received the message but showed no reaction. Instead, he waited for the council's panic to reach its peak before speaking again. Is that the extent of your power? Creating another canyon on Mars? The alien commander's hologram flickered with what might have been anger. You mock us even now. Your species' stupidity will be its downfall. No, Song replied, his voice carrying across the now silent chamber. Your failure to heed our warning will be yours. Every civilization you've conquered was truly defenseless against you. We are not. This is your final chance to leave our solar system intact. The alien commander's response was to showcase more recordings of planetary devastation. As the images played, Director Han's fingers flew across her console, marking primary targets in the alien fleet. Every weapon, every shield generator, every command center was tagged and analyzed. You have 6 Earth hours to begin your surrender, the alien commander declared. After that, we will demonstrate our power on one of your cities. Choose which one dies first. A hologram vanished, leaving the council chamber in darkness. The representatives continued their act of panic and argument, but Song noticed many hidden smiles. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for this moment, hiding their true capabilities behind a carefully crafted mask of primitive technology. Director Han. Song spoke into his neural link. Are we ready? Beyond ready, Han's voice carried a note of anticipation. The gravity weapons alone could end this in minutes. Should I power up the time dilation fields as well? Song looked up at the council chamber's ceiling, imagining the alien fleet above. Power up everything. When they make their move, I want this to be quick, clean, and absolutely decisive. The greatest deception in human history was about to reach its conclusion, and the galaxy would never be the same. Captain Yoon floated in zero gravity aboard the stealth observation post Silent Watch, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the alien fleet's movement. The massive station, completely invisible to conventional sensors, orbited Jupiter in perfect silence. Despite being larger than any publicly known space station, it appeared as nothing more than a small asteroid to outside observers. Another warning ignored, she muttered, watching as 3 more diplomatic messages were dismissed by the stellar Dominion fleet. The alien ships moved with military precision, their formation expanding and contracting like a living organism as they passed through the outer solar system. The observation post's quantum sensors captured every detail of the invasion force. Each alien ship was automatically scanned, analyzed, and tagged with targeting data. The information flowed seamlessly to Earth's defense network through channels that existed outside normal spacetime. They're not even trying to look for advanced technology, Lieutenant Park reported from his sensor station. Their scans are focused on radio waves and chemical rocket signatures. They haven't detected a single quantum signature. Yoon smiled, remembering her academy days when she first learned about Operation Masquerade. Humanity had spent generations crafting the perfect deception, appearing primitive while developing technology that bordered on magic. Now that deception was being put to its ultimate test. On her primary display, she watched the carefully choreographed chaos unfolding on Earth. Civilian ships, specially designed to look barely spaceworthy, launched from spaceports around the planet. Their engines sputtered and sparked, creating the perfect image of a primitive species attempting emergency evacuation. Emergency broadcast from Singapore, her communications officer announced. They're doing a wonderful job of sounding terrified. The broadcast played through the station speakers. This is Singapore Space Control. We've lost contact with 3 refugee ships. Our guidance systems are failing. Please, any ships in range, respond. In reality, those ships were crewed by military personnel, putting on a show for their alien audience. Their primitive guidance systems were backed up by quantum navigation that could plot courses through 11 dimensions. Commander Choi's transmission came through on a secure quantum channel from his lunar base. The aliens are eating this up. Their communications are full of mockery. They think we're a pre-spaceflight civilization that got lucky with basic rocket technology. Yoon watched as Earth's greatest actors continued their performance. Construction robots, disguised to look like crude machinery, appeared to frantically build underground bunkers. In truth, humanity's real shelters had been completed centuries ago, buried kilometers deep, and protected by fields that could withstand the death of the solar system itself. "Captain," Lieutenant Park called out, "the alien fleet just passed the orbit of Saturn. Their speed indicates they'll reach Mars in approximately 48 hours. Yoon nodded, sending a status update to Earth Defense Command. The aliens' arrogance was working against them. They weren't even bothering to send scout ships ahead of their main fleet. Why would they? Every civilization they'd encountered had been exactly what they appeared to be. New transmission from their command ship, her communications officer reported. They're laughing at our evacuation efforts. Their commander is comparing us to insects scrambling when their hill is disturbed." "Perfect," Yoon replied, watching as more of Earth's refugee ships launched. Each vessel's apparent struggle with basic spaceflight was a masterpiece of deception. "What's the status of the Jupiter defense grid?" "All weapons primed and camouflage, Captain. The aliens passed within 10,000 kilometers of Platform 7 and didn't detect a thing. Our quantum shielding is holding perfectly." From her command chair, Yoon could see Jupiter's massive form through the observation post's transparent hull. Hidden in orbit around the gas giant were weapons that could reduce planets to their component atoms. The aliens had no idea they were flying past enough firepower to destroy their entire civilization. "Update from Operation Masquerade Control," Lieutenant Park announced. "Phase 3 is commencing. We're about to show them our best military technology." On her display, Yoon watched as Earth's defense fleet emerged from hiding. The ships looked impressive to primitive sensors, the best that chemical rockets and nuclear power could produce. In reality, they were elaborate props, crewed by volunteers who deserved acting awards for their performance. "Their fleet is responding," her tactical officer reported with a grin. "They're not even bothering to power up their main weapons. They think our ships are so primitive that their point defense systems will be enough." Yoon leaned back in her chair, watching as humanity's greatest deception entered its final phase. Soon, the aliens would learn the truth. But for now, she had the privilege of watching them fall deeper into a trap centuries in the making. "Send word to Defense Command," she ordered. "The Stellar Dominion continues to take the bait. All systems are go for Operation Thunderclap when they reach the Mars line." As her orders were relayed through quantum channels, Yoon thought about all the generations of humans who had maintained this deception. Every leaked spacecraft design, every faked military test, every carefully crafted piece of disinformation had led to this moment. The aliens thought they were watching humanity's last desperate attempts at resistance. Instead, they were watching the final act of the greatest military deception in human history. Their laughter would soon turn to something very different indeed. Colonel Boz stood on the bridge of the ESS Defiant, a spacecraft deliberately designed to look like it was held together with spare parts and hope. Steam hissed from fake leaks in the walls, and the engines made concerning sounds that had taken engineers months to perfect. Every imperfection, every flaw, was carefully crafted to tell a story of a species barely capable of space travel. "Another thruster malfunction, sir," Lieutenant Cho announced loudly, making sure the aliens could intercept his transmission. "We're down to 60% capacity on Engine 3. Ba grabbed his console as the ship shuddered right on cue. Behind the facade of ancient displays and flickering lights, quantum computers coordinated the fleet's elaborate performance. Every shake, every spark, every warning alarm was choreographed like a grand ballet. "Keep those engines running, Lieutenant," Ba shouted back. "We're humanity's last line of defense." He fought to hide his smile as he delivered the melodramatic line. Across the solar system, Earth's defensive fleet put on the performance of a lifetime. Ships wobbled in their formations, their movements suggesting poorly trained crews struggling with basic maneuvers. Communication channels buzzed with fake arguments between captains and panicked requests for technical support. Major Kang watched the show from her quantum platform, a facility that existed partially outside normal spacetime. Her real command center was a marvel of technology, but to the aliens, it appeared as a primitive satellite barely worthy of notice. "Their flagship is analyzing our fleet composition," she reported through secure channels. "Their tactical computers are having trouble believing anyone would launch such outdated vessels." The alien fleet's advance had slowed as they approached Mars, their massive ships spreading out to surround Earth's pathetic defense force. Their sensors swept across human vessels, cataloging weapons that would have been considered primitive centuries ago. On Earth, the deception reached new heights. World leaders held emergency broadcasts, their arguments carefully scripted to suggest a planet in chaos. The Chinese premier demanded immediate surrender. The American president called for a last stand. The European Union appeared to be fracturing under pressure. "Incoming transmission from the alien command ship," Lieutenant Cho reported, fighting to keep the amusement out of his voice. "They're offering us one last chance to surrender with dignity." Colonel Ba activated his ship's external cameras, watching as the alien fleet moved into attack formation. Their massive vessels, each one capable of destroying a continent, positioned themselves with practiced precision. They had no idea that every movement was being tracked by weapons that could tear holes in reality itself. Major Kang, Ba transmitted through their quantum link, status of the targeting grid. "Every ship is marked and tracked," Kang replied from her hidden platform. "Their shield frequencies, weapon systems, and command centers are all tagged. We could end this in seconds if given the order." The alien fleet's commander, growing increasingly confident, broadcast another message to his homeworld. The quantum grid intercepted and decoded it instantly. "Victory is assured. These humans are even more primitive than our initial scans suggested. Their most advanced weapons appear to be nuclear missiles with minimal guidance systems. This will be the easiest conquest in our history." In her quantum platform, Major Kang allowed herself a small laugh. The aliens had no idea that their private communications were being monitored by technology they couldn't even comprehend. Every boast, every tactical plan, every confident prediction was recorded and analyzed. "New development," Lieutenant Cho reported. "They're launching what appears to be a demonstration attack. Single ship targeting one of our abandoned space stations." Colonel Ba watched as an alien destroyer approached an old research station. The station was genuine garbage, one of the few pieces of actual primitive technology they'd kept in orbit for just this purpose. The alien weapon fired, destroying the station in a spectacular explosion. Immediately, Earth's defensive fleet erupted in apparently panicked communications. Ships broke formation, captains called for retreat, and the entire human military appeared to be on the verge of collapse. "Their tactical officers are submitting their final attack plans," Major Kang reported, monitoring the alien fleet's internal communications. "They believe this will be over in minutes once they commit their full force." Colonel Ba stood on his bridge, watching the alien fleet's final preparations through cameras designed to look primitive. Behind him, his crew continued their award-worthy performance of a terrified, undertrained military force about to be annihilated. "Send word to Defense Command," he ordered through the quantum link. "The enemy has fully committed to their assumption of our weakness. All ships are in position for Operation Thunderclap." As the message was sent, Ba looked out at the alien fleet one last time. They had fallen for humanity's deception completely, positioning themselves exactly where Earth's real defense forces wanted them. Soon, they would learn the true meaning of technological superiority. "Let them think we're weak for a little longer," he transmitted to the fleet. "The greatest trick humanity ever pulled was convincing the galaxy we were primitive. It's almost time to show them how wrong they were." The red dust of Mars kicked up in swirling clouds as the massive alien fleet crossed the orbital line that humanity had been waiting for. Their ships cast long shadows on the planet's surface, their weapons primed for what they believed would be an easy victory. Thousands of vessels moved in perfect formation, their crews already celebrating the conquest to come. Admiral Park stood in her quantum-shielded command center deep within Olympus Mons, Mars' largest volcano. The facility, hidden from even the most advanced alien sensors, hummed with power as humanity's real defense systems came fully online. Around her, elite operators sat at their stations, fingers hovering over controls that could reshape reality itself. "Final position check," she ordered, her voice calm despite the historic moment approaching. "All defense platforms accounted for. Their flagship is analyzing our fleet composition," she reported through secure channels. "Their tactical computers are having trouble believing anyone would launch such outdated vessels." The alien fleet's advance had slowed as they approached Mars, their massive ships spreading out to surround Earth's pathetic defense force. Their sensors swept across human vessels, cataloging weapons that would have been considered primitive centuries ago. On Earth, the deception reached new heights. World leaders held emergency broadcasts, their arguments carefully scripted to suggest a planet in chaos. The Chinese premier demanded immediate surrender. The American president called for a last stand. The European Union appeared to be fracturing under pressure. "Incoming transmission from the alien command ship," Lieutenant Cho reported, fighting to keep the amusement out of his voice. "They're offering us one last chance to surrender with dignity." Colonel Ba activated his ship's external cameras, watching as the alien fleet moved into attack formation. Their massive vessels, each one capable of destroying a continent, positioned themselves with practiced precision. They had no idea that every movement was being tracked by weapons that could tear holes in reality itself. "Major Kang," Ba transmitted through their quantum link, "status of the targeting grid. Every ship is marked and tracked," Kang replied from her hidden platform. "Their shield frequencies, weapon systems, and command centers are all tagged. We could end this in seconds if given the order." The alien fleet's commander, growing increasingly confident, broadcast another message to his homeworld. The quantum grid intercepted and decoded it instantly. "Victory is assured. These humans are even more primitive than our initial scans suggested. Their most advanced weapons appear to be nuclear missiles with minimal guidance systems. This will be the easiest conquest in our history." In her quantum platform, Major Kang allowed herself a small laugh. The aliens had no idea that their private communications were being monitored by technology they couldn't even comprehend. Every boast, every tactical plan, every confident prediction was recorded and analyzed. "New development," Lieutenant Cho reported. "They're launching what appears to be a demonstration attack. Single ship targeting one of our abandoned space stations." Colonel Ba watched as an alien destroyer approached an old research station. The station was genuine garbage, one of the few pieces of actual primitive technology they'd kept in orbit for just this purpose. The alien weapon fired, destroying the station in a spectacular explosion. Immediately, Earth's defensive fleet erupted in apparently panicked communications. Ships broke formation, captains called for retreat, and the entire human military appeared to be on the verge of collapse. Their tactical officers are submitting their final attack plans, Major Kang reported, monitoring the alien fleet's internal communications. "They believe this will be over in minutes once they commit their full force." Colonel Ba stood on his bridge, watching the alien fleet's final preparations through cameras designed to look primitive. Behind him, his crew continued their award-worthy performance of a terrified, undertrained military force about to be annihilated. "Send word to Defense Command," he ordered through the quantum link. "The enemy has fully committed to their assumption of our weakness. All ships are in position for Operation Thunderclap." As the message was sent, Ba looked out at the alien fleet one last time. They had fallen for humanity's deception completely, positioning themselves exactly where Earth's real defense forces wanted them. Soon, they would learn the true meaning of technological superiority. "Let them think we're weak for a little longer," he transmitted to the fleet. "The greatest trick humanity ever pulled was convincing the galaxy we were primitive. It's almost time to show them how wrong they were." The red dust of Mars kicked up in swirling clouds as the massive alien fleet crossed the orbital line that humanity had been waiting for. Their ships cast long shadows on the planet's surface, their weapons primed for what they believed would be an easy victory. Thousands of vessels moved in perfect formation, their crews already celebrating the conquest to come. Admiral Park stood in her quantum-shielded command center deep within Olympus Mons, Mars' largest volcano. The facility, hidden from even the most advanced alien sensors, hummed with power as humanity's real defense systems came fully online. Around her, elite operators sat at their stations, fingers hovering over controls that could reshape reality itself. "Final position check," she ordered, her voice calm despite the historic moment approaching. "All defense platforms accounted for." "Yes, Admiral," Captain G responded from his tactical station. 7,000 quantum platforms in position, completely cloaked. The aliens still have no idea they're surrounded. On the main display, Earth's defensive fleet made its final approach. The 100 outdated ships looked pitiful against the backdrop of the alien armada. Their engines sputtered convincingly, and their formation showed just enough precision to suggest a military that had barely mastered space travel. The alien commander's voice boomed through the command center as their latest transmission was intercepted. "Look at these primitive vessels. Their technology is centuries behind our most basic scout ships. This will be over quickly." Admiral Park watched as the alien fleet spread out, preparing to engulf Earth's ships in a classic encirclement maneuver. Their confidence was absolute. They had performed this same operation countless times against other civilizations. "Enemy weapons powering up," Captain G reported. "They're not even bothering with full power. Their tactical analysis suggests 10% weapon capacity will be sufficient." Park allowed herself a small smile. How kind of them to conserve energy. Status of the quantum grid. "Grid is hot, Admiral. Reality anchors are in place. The moment you give the word, we can lock down every particle of space within their fleet's formation." The alien commander made one final transmission to Earth's leaders. "Your pathetic resistance ends now. Watch as we destroy your fleet, then prepare to welcome your new masters." Admiral Park straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. Generations of preparation had led to this moment. Every fake broadcast, every staged military exercise, every leaked piece of disinformation had helped create the perfect trap. "All units," she spoke clearly into the quantum comm, "execute Protocol Omega." The space around Mars lit up as 7,000 quantum platforms decloaked simultaneously. Each one was a masterpiece of human engineering, capable of manipulating the fundamental forces of the universe. The alien fleet suddenly found itself surrounded by weapons they couldn't even comprehend. "Reality anchors active," Captain G announced. "Local space-time lockdown. Their ships are frozen in place." The alien commander's next transmission carried a note of panic. "What is this? Where did these platforms come from?" "Full power to engines. They can try to move all they want," Park said, watching the tactical display. "Those ships aren't going anywhere until we let them." Status of their weapons. "Already neutralized, Admiral. Our quantum fields have frozen every weapon system in their fleet. They're completely helpless." Around Mars' orbit, the trapped alien fleet hung motionless in space. Their mighty engines, capable of crossing galaxies, couldn't generate enough power to move a single centimeter. Their weapons, which had destroyed countless civilizations, might as well have been decorative lights. "Open a channel to their command ship," Park ordered. "Let's educate them about humanity's real capabilities." The alien commander's hologram appeared in the command center, its previous arrogance replaced by confusion and fear. "What trickery is this? Your species barely has spaceflight capability." "That's what we wanted you to think," Park replied calmly. "Every primitive ship you scanned, every panicked transmission you intercepted, every sign of weakness you observed was carefully crafted to bring you here, to this exact position." She gestured, and the holographic display showed the full extent of humanity's trap. Quantum platforms surrounded the alien fleet in a perfect sphere, their weapons powered by technology that the aliens had thought impossible. "You're not the first advanced species to visit our solar system," Park continued, "but you are the first to ignore our warnings so completely. The others at least had the wisdom to retreat when they realized something wasn't quite right about our primitive civilization." The alien commander's hologram flickered as it tried to process this revelation. "Impossible. Our scans showed no signs of advanced technology." "Of course not," Park smiled. "We didn't want them to. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while being strong is the best way to identify potential threats. You've shown us exactly what you are." Around Mars, the quantum platforms began to power up their primary weapons. The alien fleet remained frozen in space, about to learn the true meaning of technological superiority. "Admiral," Captain G reported, "all systems are ready. Awaiting your final command." Park looked at the alien commander's hologram one last time. "You should have heeded our warnings. The galaxy will learn from your mistake." Space itself seemed to tear apart as the quantum platforms revealed their true power. The void between Mars and Earth lit up with energies that defied the laws of physics, as humanity's most advanced weapons prepared to fire. The alien fleet, once so mighty and confident, hung helpless in a web of overlapping gravity fields. Lieutenant Kim's hands danced across her quantum interface, each movement precise and deliberate. The young officer had trained for years for this moment, though like everyone else, she had hoped it would never come. "Admiral, all enemy vessels are contained within the gravity fields. Their engines are powerless against our reality anchors." Around the command center, officers watched in silence as thousands of targeting locks engaged simultaneously. Each quantum platform had the power to destroy a small moon, and there were 7,000 of them surrounding the alien fleet. "Their commander is attempting to broadcast a surrender," Captain G reported, his voice steady despite the historic moment unfolding before them. "They're offering immediate withdrawal and recognition of Earth's sovereignty." Admiral Park stood at her command station, her expression firm. The alien fleet had been given multiple chances to retreat. They had chosen this path, and now they would face the consequences. Too late for that. "Lieutenant Kim, begin the sequence." The first wave of quantum weapons activated, their beams invisible to normal sight, but devastating in their effects. Space itself buckled where they struck, and alien ships began to disintegrate at the atomic level. There was no explosion, no dramatic destruction. They simply ceased to exist. "First wave successful," Kim reported. 30% of enemy fleet neutralized. No survivors detected from affected vessels. The alien fleet's remaining ships attempted to fire their weapons, but inside the gravity fields, their most powerful shots fizzled harmlessly. Some tried to activate their faster-than-light drives, only to find that the laws of physics themselves had been rewritten within their containment zones. "Second wave preparing to fire," Captain G announced. "Reality anchors holding steady. The enemy fleet's attempts at resistance are having no effect." Admiral Park watched as another wave of quantum weapons engage. More alien ships vanished from existence, their mighty technology useless against weapons they couldn't even understand. The entire battle was proceeding exactly as their simulations had predicted. "Incoming transmission from their flagship," Communications Officer Lee reported. They're begging now, Admiral, offering to share all their technology, all their knowledge." Record everything, Park ordered. The galaxy should know what happens when you threaten Earth. Final wave, execute. The last wave of quantum weapons activated in perfect synchronization. Space between Mars and Earth lit up one final time as humanity's most advanced technology demonstrated its full power. When the energy fields cleared, nothing remained of the mighty stellar Dominion fleet except scattered atoms. Battle duration: 3 minutes, 17 seconds, Lieutenant Kim reported, her voice carrying a note of awe. No enemy vessels escaped the containment zone. The threat has been neutralized. Admiral Park nodded, looking at the space where thousands of alien ships had been moments before. Status of our defensive platforms: all systems nominal, Captain G responded. Power consumption was within expected parameters. The quantum grid is already recharging. We could do this again right now if needed. Around the command center, officers began compiling battle data and preparing after-action reports. The entire engagement had been recorded in perfect detail, ready to be broadcast across the galaxy as a warning to any other civilizations that might consider Earth an easy target. Send word to Earth Defense Command, Park ordered. Operation Thunderclap is complete. The Stellar Dominion's invasion fleet has been eliminated with 0 human casualties. Lieutenant Kim looked up from her station, her expression thoughtful. Admiral, should we maintain the primitive technology facade? Other species might have monitored this engagement. Park smiled slightly. No need. Let them see what we're capable of. The time for deception is over. Now is the time for deterrence. The quantum platforms began to cloak again, disappearing from conventional sensors, but remaining ready to defend Earth at a moment's notice. In the space where the alien fleet had been, only scattered particles remained as evidence of humanity's true power. Begin recovery operations, Park commanded. I want every piece of alien technology we can find collected and analyzed. Their overconfidence was their weakness, but we won't make the same mistake. As cleanup crews moved in to gather what little remained of the Stellar Dominion fleet, Admiral Park thought about how this day would be remembered. The galaxy had just learned that humanity's apparent weakness was its greatest deception, and Earth's warnings should never be ignored. Send the battle records to every known civilization in the galaxy, she ordered. Let them all know Earth is not to be trifled with. The message would be clear. Humanity's long masquerade as a primitive species was over. Now, the galaxy would know them for what they truly were, the most technologically advanced civilization in known space, and one that had just eliminated an entire invasion fleet in less time than it takes to brew coffee. Debris from the destroyed alien fleet drifted silently through space as Ambassador Song prepared to address the survivors. In the grand chamber of the United Earth Council, now revealed to be just a small part of humanity's true governmental complex, he stood before the quantum transmission array. The few alien ships that had been intentionally spared watched from a safe distance, their sensors recording everything. To the surviving ships of the Stellar Dominion, and to your homeworld. Som began, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's revealed power. We gave you multiple warnings. We offered you chances to retreat. You chose to ignore them all. Behind him, massive holographic displays showed the battle from multiple angles. The footage was crystal clear, the moment of revelation when Earth's quantum platforms decloaked, the immediate neutralization of the alien fleet's capabilities, and their final destruction. The entire engagement had taken just over 3 minutes. Your arrogance led you to believe we were primitive, Song continued. You saw exactly what we wanted you to see. Outdated ships, basic technology, a civilization barely capable of reaching its own moon. That deception was crafted over centuries, designed specifically to identify those who would threaten us. In the orbital command center, General Lee watched as the surviving alien ships processed this information. Their sensors were now detecting the true extent of Earth's defensive grid. Quantum platforms hidden throughout the solar system, reality-altering weapons that could erase entire fleets from existence. Send the complete battle records to every known civilization in the galaxy, Lee ordered. Full spectrum data, including quantum readings. Let them see exactly what happened to the mightiest fleet in known space when they chose to ignore our warnings. The transmission began immediately, carried by quantum channels that ignored the normal limits of spacetime. Across the galaxy, thousands of civilizations would receive detailed footage of the battle, along with sensor data showing just how outmatched the Stellar Dominion had been. Ambassador Song's voice continued, now broadcasting to the entire galaxy. Earth is not prey. We never were. We are the apex predators who chose to hide our teeth until they were needed. Remember this day. Remember what happened when the Stellar Dominion ignored humanity's warning. In their ships, the surviving alien crews watched in stunned silence. Their sensors were now detecting technology so advanced it bordered on the impossible. Reality itself bent around Earth's defensive platforms, and the quantum fields protecting the planet could withstand the death of the sun itself. To any civilization watching this transmission, Song's voice grew stronger. Know that Earth values peace. We have no desire for conquest or empire, but we will defend ourselves with absolute force when threatened. The Stellar Dominion learned this lesson too late. Learn from their mistake. General Lee observed as the surviving alien ships began to retreat. Their engines, once thought to be the pinnacle of space travel technology, seemed sluggish compared to the quantum wake they left behind. They fled faster than they had arrived, carrying with them the truth about humanity's power. Status of the quantum defense grid. Lee asked his command staff. All platforms recharged and cloaked, sir, Captain Min reported. The grid is ready to respond to any new threats, though after this demonstration, I doubt we'll see any for quite some time. Across the solar system, humanity's true technological marvels continued their silent watch. The facade of primitive technology had served its purpose. Now the galaxy would know Earth for what it truly was. The age of deception is over. Ambassador Song concluded his transmission. Let this be the beginning of a new era, one where the galaxy understands that humanity's warnings carry the weight of absolute power behind them. We prefer mercy to wrath, peace to war, but we will not hesitate to defend ourselves. The choice is yours. As the transmission ended, General Lee looked out at the debris field that had once been the mightiest fleet in known space. Send recovery teams to collect their technology, he ordered. Not because we need it, but because we should understand what they thought would be enough to conquer us. The message had been sent. The galaxy would soon know that Earth's apparent weakness had been its greatest deception. Humanity would not be conquered. They were the ones who had been testing other civilizations all along. In the end, it wasn't Earth's quantum weapons or reality-altering technology that had won the day. It was the patience to maintain a centuries-long deception, waiting for the right moment to reveal their true power. The galaxy would indeed learn to fear Earth's mercy more than its wrath, for those who received its wrath never lived to tell about it. The story of the Stellar Dominion's defeat would be told across the cosmos for generations to come, a cautionary tale about underestimating humanity and ignoring their warnings. Earth had revealed itself as the most technologically advanced civilization in known space, and they had done so not with a whimper, but with a demonstration of power that would echo through the ages.